This is Ian. I've been an independent publisher for over 10 years, and today I'm going to show you how to create a new book in Apple Books using iTunes Producer. If this helps, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe, and let's get started. So those of you who are independent publishers who do your own uploading of files to different types of sales channels such as Amazon KDP or Kobo, you may be familiar with Apple's workflow. It's primitive. The software is not ideal. You actually have to use two different software tools to manage your books in Apple Books. It's kind of a pain in the neck. Fortunately, Apple has streamlined a couple things, which makes it a lot better to deal with this tool. But nevertheless, there's a couple things that are just not fun. I'm going to walk you through it. Basically, what you need to have ready is an ebook or an ePub file. So this is the ePub file. I'm previewing it in Apple Books, but it's not available for sale yet in Apple Books. And I've checked it out. Everything looks good. The ebook itself came out, the ePub itself came out really well. So it's going to look great once it gets into Apple Books. But now there's the nasty process of actually using iTunes Producer to get the file into Apple's system and to get it validated by Apple. So once you've signed into iTunes Producer, it may take a couple minutes for this particular tool to pop up. And then you have two choices, book or textbook. I'm going to choose book and then click choose. And it opens up this workflow. And basically what you need to do is you need to add certain bits of information so Apple knows where to put it in Apple Books and also what to price it as. So the most important thing you need to do first is drag your cover art here. So I do have an ebook file, a cover file. So it is this book, and then let's find the cover. Oh, here it is. And basically you need to use like a high resolution version of your cover. So this is the one I'm going to use. I'm going to drag it right over here. So that's good. Now drag up to 5 screenshots here. This used to be required. So at some point in the last couple of years, Apple got rid of that requirement, which is great because it was really a pain in the neck to upload it to an iPad and then get the photos to put here. I don't know how Apple deals with this right now. One piece of advice I do have, if you are concerned about what screenshots show up in the iPad or the iBooks or the Apple Books view of your book, like let's say there's a special screenshot you want to have, definitely use this feature. For me, it doesn't really matter that much. Now let's get over here, author primary, first name, last name. So the author's name is Emily Pogue. And then I do last name, first name, Pogue, Emily. Description. This kind of is not optimal at all. Basically, it's a plain text field. You can't format the description at all. So that's not good. What I do is I have a special text file. Other people use a spreadsheet where they keep all of their metadata. I know that some people use tools related to Onyx and whatnot. So here is my description, unformatted. Just going to copy, paste it in, and then what I have to do, as primitive as it seems, I just have to manually add bullets, which is just crazy, but that's the way this particular tool works. If I was using Amazon KDP, for instance, I could properly format these bullets, bold text, all kinds of other stuff. Apple has just kind of neglected this tool for the most part. Okay, subject category. So what I recommend doing here is there's different types of categories. The most important one is the BISAC and also the Apple subject category. I'm going to lead with the BISAC, and then you have to go through this, this tree basically to find the right BISAC category. So this would be children with special needs. And then for the app, then I click plus here to add another category, Apple subject category, which is actually pretty similar. You have to be careful. I don't know where this one goes. I'm going to say parents, and it's not letting me go any further. I might add another one as well. And another disadvantage of this whole system is these Apple subject categories. I can't even figure what they are until I get into this tool, iTunes Producer. Unlike BISACs where you can look it up online. Okay, bear with me. You know what? I actually might put this under business and personal finance because it does relate to personal finance. Okay, I might come back and change that at some point. Interest age and years, I don't do that. Contains explicit content, no. Publisher, it's the name of my company. Seller name, I-30 Media Corporation. Original publication date. So the original publication date is actually in the future. Book language, English. Print length. The print length is 104 pages. Book type. Okay. Now it gets down to here, the vendor ID. I can't change that. And the ISBN, I definitely want to put that in. So there is an ePub ISBN that I'm using. It's this one right here. So I'm gonna copy and paste that in. Actually, let me just make sure this is the right one. Okay. It gives you a separate field for the print ISBN. I do recommend doing this. And I think we're good. Okay. Now, the next thing that you have to do is the price. This is also really mixed up. And it's actually, this feature is something that you can change on iTunes Connect, which is Apple's website for book publishers. But I'm just going to do it right here. Hit plus. DRM free. DRM is digital rights management. I do not recommend having a DRM enabled ebook, even though people would say, oh, well, it will stop people from pirating my book. Believe me, that's a minor issue to worry about compared to the real issue of having DRM enabled and really screwing up some of your readers who can't open a book or transfer to a different device or whatever. So I just say DRM free makes life a lot easier. So the release date is 01 2024. And then the pre-order start date, that can be, I think it can be tomorrow. So 04/24/2024. Publication type, this is a new release. Currency type, US dollar. Physical list price for this book is $14.99, and the Apple book store price is $7.99. And then I'm only checking off the United States. The reason for this is this book is about Social Security, so there is no relevance for anybody else in these other markets. So I'm not even going to bother with that. Click Save. Taking a while. And this is actually a good opportunity to explain the other software tool that you can use to manage prices, and that is called iTunes Connect. It's a website. You need to sign up for both iTunes Connect and also download iTunes Producer. They use the same login information, but iTunes Producer is actually an application living on your computer. Okay, so this is all set. Release date, May the 1st. Pre-order start date is tomorrow. I can't click submit yet because I need to upload the files. So drag your full book here, drag your sample book here. A long time ago, Apple used to force you to create a sample ebook, which was just a nightmare for publishers, especially those who didn't have any HTML skills or knowledge of how ePubs work. Fortunately, they got rid of that ridiculous requirement. So I'm going to drag a full book here. And it is this one right here. All right, I'm just going to drag it over. Now, so it's already in there, and basically I'm going to click submit. I have to give it a name, and what I usually do is I leave that number there, but then I give it like a nickname. SS, Social Security, V2, E2, and click save. Submit your book to Apple Books. So what's going to happen is they're going to upload it to Apple's system, and then another really important step that Apple does is it validates the ePub. Validates means it looks at the computer code and it determines if it will work in its system. And you can see there is some problem here. The Java the book title is required at book metadata. So let's go back here. I think I know what I did. I think I forgot to put in the title, which is a pretty rookie mistake. Yeah, I did. So that's my mistake. Fortunately, easy enough to rectify. I have this metadata. Subtitle, definitely use a subtitle. The subtitle, why you should use that, by the way, is because there's keywords in here relating to the book topic that will help people find it in Apple Books. Okay, fix that particular problem. I think everything else is okay. Let's try that again. Teachable moment. So it's going to submit the information I just put in there, plus upload the ePub file, and it will validate the ePub file. So validate means it looks at the computer code that underlies the ePub file, which is basically a variation of HTML, and then it sees if there's any mistakes in there. And sometimes these mistakes are so frustrating, but it appears to me that, actually, let's take a look here. Okay, so I need to do it again. The reason why is because somebody, whoever put this cover in here, they used the CMYK version of the cover file instead of the RGB version. There's also this error, which is not which I've seen this before. It's not a roadblock to actually updating the book. So what I need to do is I need to go back into the ePub. I need to either have my graphic designer change this file to the RGB version of it, or I need to do it myself. And I know how to do this, so I'm going to do it myself using a program called Sigil. But basically, that's the ins and outs of uploading an ePub file. And you can see there's lots of opportunities to kind of make a mistake because this is a custom Apple bit of software. There's all this validation taking place. Some of it's necessary, like for instance, you need to have a title. Some of it I think is questionable at best. So I'm going to redo this ePub for so it can work in Apple iTunes Producer and then resubmit it. But basically, that's the ins and outs of doing an Apple ePub. If this video helped, please take a moment to like it and follow me, and I'll see you next time.